Thank you for joining us here on Two Balls and a Mic today. We have a really special guest, and I'm really excited for this interview, man. You may remember him from such YouTube films as the Hater Guys for NFL, NHL, MLB, and other sports. This Week in Sports Ball and Days of Our Steelers. With over 130 million channel views on this one channel and over 400,000 subscribers, the Sultan of shit posting, one of my favorite YouTubers. Please welcome Urinating Tree. How are you doing, Tree?
I'm doing all right. I've never heard Sultan of shit posting before. That's interesting.
That's all you, man. That's
and I not even checked my numbers. I didn't realize it was at 130 million total views. Jesus Christ.
That's honestly an astronomical number. I can't imagine what that must be like to have that many eyeballs on
we get excited
ears.
with 60 views.
And the interesting thing is I don't have anything that really like blows up. I only have a couple that are only 1 million.
So for the people watching and who might be rather shocked that somebody decided to call themselves Urinating Tree, could you just kind of go over a little bit as far as who you are and what it is that you do?
Well, what I do is I shit post on the internet. That's pretty much all I do.
I love it.
I find ways to keep myself sane while following all the sports. And the only way you can really do that is to laugh at it. It's pretty much all you really can do at this point because of so much the crazy bullshit that happens throughout the day-to-day life. It gets a little interesting and crazy at the same time.
I can imagine, man. Especially with
I just drunkenly stumbled onto it one day, and here we are.
I mean, I can sometimes tell when there may be a little bit more alcohol. I've been watching since I don't even know how you came across on my algorithm or how it ended up happening. But
YouTube is weird, man. Sometimes it'll just pop up on you randomly. Sometimes it's like, oh, here's this person. The algorithm is. I try not to pay attention to it because it's hard to follow.
Oh yeah, it's confusing, man. Like I get videos from 7 years ago that I have no,
Oh yeah, I get that all the time. My favorite one is like, oh, here's this cute fox. Let's play with it. Oh, here's a few more videos of him having a good time being played. Oh, by the way, did you know that fox is dead? It's like, fuck you. Really?
And see, we always fall for it because we're like, oh, I haven't seen this video. It's a cute little fox. You watch it and then kind of leads you down the rabbit hole of sadness. But with that a little bit, it's what you do. I can't really explain to my mom or dad. Hey, there's this guy who does, who has an immense following, talks about sports, swears and cusses up and down, like just the thesaurus of vocabulary and just curse words is fantastic. But How do you see yourself in this grand scheme of things? Obviously, I'm here in a garage, man. We're here in a garage.
Yeah, I was in a basement for a good chunk of time. I was in, it was like a year ago. My sister moved out. I got this room, and I kind of built it into like a quote unquote office. I'm just a fucking dude. It's nothing that serious. I don't think I'm reinventing the wheel. I'm not doing anything special. I make videos for the internet, and they somehow allow me to not do anything else. It's not like I starve or anything, fortunately.
Yeah. Do you pay attention to some of your I guess coworkers in a sense?
No way. Most of the time, though, I'm focused on sports. I don't really like to watch other sports channels. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
I'll watch them every now and again. They're really good. It's just that I'm on sports so much that it's like I want to watch something else. So I'll watch random stuff on YouTube. Gaming, animation, history. I'll watch random stuff because I feel like it's my way of unwinding.
Yeah, exactly. And
yeah, that completely makes sense. I just want to ask. Obviously, Tony and I have not had that experience of seeing a video blow up yet, and hopefully it happens for us. But what is that experience like when you first see a video, it just blows up, and you're like, holy shit, what the fuck does this mean?
Pretty much. It's a weird feeling. I'm just... How do I explain it? You sit there thinking you're more deceived because you're thinking like your eyes are playing tricks on you, or sometimes like, really, that blew up? What? And I'm just like, what? Wait, what? And it just keeps going up and up, and it's like, wait a minute, what? And then you end up doing another. It's like, okay, that's a fluke. And then first one I remember seeing that on was Hater's Guide to the 2017 NFL Playoffs, and that was just as an experiment. I feel like I expected maybe a couple hundred views, a couple people saying I suck, and I call it a day. It's like, okay. So I wanted a creative release, if anything, and at the end of the day, that ended up getting I forget how many. It was like over 10,000 views. I remember that, which is like completely higher than what I've usually had. I only got like a couple hundred. And I'm thinking, okay, that's probably a fluke. We'll do the Super Bowl. It probably won't get anything like it. And then you go to the Super Bowl and it ends up getting like 50,000 views. Like, wait, what the fuck?
Yeah.
There's something here. And then you keep going with it. It's not like chasing a high. It's more fighting against yourself, I feel like.
So at what point did it turn, obviously you had your channel, it was a gaming channel, and kind of morphed into different sets of things, but at what point, if even at all, even now, did it kind of turn into a responsibility, not necessarily like a job, but like a responsibility to like, hey, I have a couple hundred people that are waiting on a certain video, or when was that moment where you're like, oh man, like I got a deadline, gotta get this video out?
I'd say it's more like just personal deadlines. I feel like I've always felt like that. Okay, people somehow like the shit, but I'm more or less in the belief that I want to release shit that I would watch, or at least how I would feel that I would watch. Because if I'm not gonna watch it, then no one else would want to watch it. It's at least how I feel. But I mainly around the time, I'd say probably late 2017. Is when I kind of started feeling that way, when sports ball started becoming a real thing. And I'm like, okay, now I have something to work with and have a deadline. And at the time, I was in between two jobs. I was waiting tables at the time. So, like, I was having a quote-unquote full-time real job with the YouTube shit, which I didn't really consider a job at the time. And that probably went on for a year before I left the restaurant industry, which in hindsight was a really good decision.
Yeah.
But
it
works in mysterious ways, man. I'm surprised I've lasted this long, to be honest with you. I figured the leagues would try and cut me down by now, but
it's going good.
Every day above the ground's a good day, right?
Yeah,
exactly.
100%. One of the highlights that, obviously, like I said, I've been following the videos and I watch them. There's the State of the Tree videos, and sometimes those are, I don't know if you realize this, but sometimes those strike a chord, and it was one of those things where I said, well, not necessarily if this guy can do it, but I just saw the rise from a video that I could tell was meant something as far as the Cleveland Brown ones. It was great content, but I didn't think it's going to be so consistent and so well. How do you not necessarily build your script, but I know you don't necessarily go for humor. You go for information.
I'm more or less write for myself, I feel like.
Really?
And the way I've always felt like is I'm not really trying to be funny per se. Like, there are times I'm trying to be funny. But for the most part, I'm not really trying to be funny per se. I'm more or less not like trying to be deliberately funny, because the way I felt like from experience is the harder you try to be funny, the less funny you really are.
Yeah.
That's how I've always felt it. I mean, I learned that lesson in high school. So, I mean, that's how it really kind of stuck in my brain, I feel like. So, if people laugh, great. If not, whatever. I mean, it happens.
At least you got the view.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, not even that. It's just like, dude, you can't please everyone. And the moment you realize that, the better off you'll be. I used to was so paranoid in the beginning, like years ago, about trying to please everyone that you end up neutering your own personality and then no one likes you. Like, you please no one. Yep. That's the hardest lesson to learn. It's like, when you try to please everyone, no one's happy.
Exactly. So I know you started your channel with gaming videos, and I was curious. Yeah. I mean, obviously, gaming just blew up in the last couple of years as well. So is that maybe some sort of content that you kind of maybe are planning to get into, maybe video game streaming or anything like that, or are you just going to stick with sports?
Not really. I mean, I do it every now and again for the most part. I did like an old gaming channel like back in like 2007, 2008. It was like some of the stuff's still up there, but it's, it hasn't aged that well, I feel like.
What has
but
been,
I mean,
yeah. What has been,
but it's like it's out there.
Yeah.
Yeah. The
And
internet
then I
never
closed
forgets.
that channel. I opened up another channel, and then this is how it became. And like this channel was dead for years. So I did not expect to be back here, if anything. So for gaming, like I don't mind doing it, but the problem is like it's so oversaturated. I don't know how I'd be able to separate myself from the rest of the pack.
That's a good point. You said the channel was dead for a couple of years, so what is it like to try to bring something back and then just blows up out of nowhere? You thought you
Honestly,
were done with it? How does that work?
More surprising. I mean, I didn't expect it. I more or less did it just as a creative release. I mean, at the time, like late 2016, I was dealing with a pretty shit situation in life. I mean, I was getting fucked over at work. I was going nowhere. I was like a couple dead end jobs. I was trying to find another job to no success. I mean, it felt like I was just rotting. It's just like, okay, I graduated college for this shit, to be a busser and just be treated like shit. It's like, really? This is it? And it's just like you feel miserable. But it's like it's not like depression miserable, but just miserable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I mainly felt like the videos for me, they weren't really something to get me like famous or successful. They were just creative release to get myself out of a shit situation, especially early on. Like that was my goal in the whole thing. It's just like, okay, let's blow some steam. Let's give myself some quote unquote purpose in life. And that's the way I saw it early on. And to be fair, if you were to tell me 4 years ago that I would be talking to you right now, I'd have 400,000 subscribers, 130 million views, I would have laughed in your face.
It's crazy how shit works, man.
I'm just
crazy.
It's surreal in a way. I'm waiting for the moment where it's like, okay, you're in a dream sequence, you're done, go back to restaurant industry. And
there's a lot of successful like self-made individuals. I follow a lot of comics, and that's as self-made as you can get in a sense. That do have that, and they do, even when they're big and successful, that they have that in them as far as like not necessarily paranoia, but just being conscious that somebody might take this away at any point. Just like you got it, somebody might just take it away, and I think that's what makes somebody as successful, if not more, driven to just maintain what you have and not necessarily not let it go, but say, don't give anybody an excuse to take it away is what I'm saying.
Oh, not an excuse, and don't get a big head about it. And it's tough to do sometimes because, you get all this quote unquote praise and like people lavishing a bunch of like stuff on you. It's like, it's easy to get a big head. And I've seen a lot of people do it on the internet. I've seen stories of like people who have been successful, get these huge egos. It completely changes their personality and their work, and they just spiral downhill into being dead. I've seen it happen too many times, and that's also a fear of mine in a way, mostly because the moment I get a big head in this shit, I'm done, because it's going to affect the quality of the work. It's going to make me feel overconfident about a lot of the shit I'll release, lazy, like crap, and people will be driven away. So
another thing that I will say is that you also have a great community that follows you, and I think the people that watch and listen to the videos, are harboring sometimes some certain feelings, and they'll let you know when something isn't to their liking. And I'm pretty sure you have a great following on Reddit, you have the great Discord, your Twitter, has great stuff on it as well. But I think, just having all those different outlets, and I think, I don't know if you realize, and if you do, like, take me through that, to know that there is that community that, was built from something that you produce. I don't think you went ahead and, made your own subreddit or made your own Discord.
No. That was somebody else who did it. I just treated it as like an impromptu base of operations. I did have my own Discord at one time. I made it when I was drunk one night, so that pretty much is the impetus for how well it's going to go. First few months were really nice, but unfortunately, I didn't give it enough attention. That was my biggest pet peeve when I did it. Just it became cancerous. like there was like a whole like doxing of a kid on there, and I'm like, really? And then just like it got ugly. I put the nuke on it. I killed it. And now the Discord I'm on is like a subreddit Discord, and I have like no power over it. And I feel like that's how it should be.
Yeah, it's like your own little cult following.
Not a safe space, but like, just a general like base.
Exactly, and I think that's something that you promote in a sense, is that the freedom of speech, that unabashed, just seething anger of the everyman fan, and I think that's what resonates, and that's what resonated with me, especially that Spanos thing, because we're here in San Diego, and
yeah.
And as you can tell,
a little bit about that.
This isn't a San Diego Charger nor an LA Charger hat. I decided to jump ship once the NFL decided to jump ship from my beautiful city. So I said, fuck Spanos, and he can go shove it. So I decided to, scour the NFL for a new team. And I felt that I've always liked the Philadelphia Eagles. I've always liked, McNabb and those Sunday mornings and the black uniforms and the snow against the Cowboys. It just seems football. And their entire fan base is incredibly bitter. I was bitter at the NFL. It just made sense, right?
Yeah, my condolences this year, dude. It's ugly, but you might still win your division.
Yeah, I know. We're in first place. I don't know what you're talking about.
I will laugh hysterically if the Washington football team wins that division. You remember that scene from SpongeBob where just like the random rock wins the snail race? That's the Washington football team.
And look, I personally believe in storylines. When I think not Yordan Ventura. It was another pitcher in the Royals-Mets World Series that their father had just passed away. It was like in Game 2. When that happened, I said, it's over for the Mets. It's just that voodoo that happens. And I think Ron Rivera's cancer and that battle is precisely that voodoo shit that's going to happen.
In a way, I mean, fuck cancer, by the way.
100%.
I hope he does recover. Apparently, like he's finished cancer treatment, so let's hope it stays away.
And I guess I know you wanted to ask about how the Jerry World.
How was that experience?
That was interesting.
Watched the video again, and
they don't
crazy.
spare any expense. Let's just put it that way. AT&T Stadium is just like, whoa, like it's nothing. Like I'm used to Heinz Field, which is okay, but it's not like anything that's like mind blowing per se. It's a decent stadium, really about it.
Yeah.
Jerry World, you're just sitting there like, oh my god. What? It is a shrine to Jerry Jones's ego. That's what I call it.
Yeah, I mean, in all sense to it. And then you have the Rams building their own. My dick is bigger than yours over here now with SoFi Stadium. We're waiting to be able to go into that palace.
Yeah.
But has that been one of your highlights throughout this YouTube journey per se, or what are some of your other just landmarks? As like, wow, like that's pretty special. I did this.
I would say 100,000 subscribers was one. You're sitting there, it's like, well, I actually have 100,000 subscribers. I mean, the first one was like I'm not really a views or like a numbers guy, but like 100,000 was an interesting one. 500,000 probably not gonna have the same thing. 1 million might be like, really? 1 million people like this shit? Okay. I don't know if you see, I have the little plaque in the back.
I see
that.
I didn't do that huge like unveiling or any of that shit. I just threw it up randomly. It's like, okay. Like YouTube gave you like this copy paste like letter said, "Dear urinating tree, we love you, care about you, and you worked so hard to get 100,000 subscribers." And I would like shed a fake tear, like, YouTube cares about me. Oh, thank you, YouTube. I love you so much. Oh, Susan. It's like that. It's like, you don't give a shit about me.
Yeah, no.
I'm just a dude who makes videos on the internet and somehow got 100,000 subs. Like there are like tens of thousands of people like me. So
it's probably a moment where they're like, urinating tree, 100K. Oh, okay,
Really?
fuck it.
Yeah.
Okay,
That's what we're
here we
sending
go.
it to.
Here we go.
oh, yeah, pretty much. It's like, wait, what?
And nobody who actually is involved with that, probably seen a video of yours anyway. Again, it's just like a copy paste. Here you go. They don't even care about their
That's probably
biggest.
what they were thinking. It's like, wait, what?
I still want to get one though.
4chan guys.
Yeah, so obviously 2020 fucking sucked with COVID, and for us, we started a
2020.
we started a sports podcast right before COVID had the outbreak.
We actually started it the day Kobe died. So we postponed episode 1 just because we're like, I don't think it's appropriate.
Yeah, let's pay some respect. But for you already kind of up and rolling. How did COVID affect your channel, if it did at all?
It mainly affected it because like most of my stuff's like based on like live sports. Like literally the week before all the shit went down, me and a couple other guys went to spring training. Like, I don't know if you've heard of like 5 Points Vids, Stark Raving Sports, Sad Man Baseball. We all went to spring training. We went to West Palm Beach, stayed there for a couple days. Really nice time. Got to catch a few baseball games. And, this was when like COVID was starting to like get a couple cases. So it was in the States, but it wasn't really like there. And then literally like a couple days after we left, they got rid of all the fans and like attendance at like spring training. I'm like, shit, really? And then Rudy Gobert decided to be a total idiot and get everything canceled for 3 months. So what ended up happening was I actually went back with my mother for a couple months because she was just so afraid to leave the house. And like she literally asked me like, look, come back. And like if you've noticed like in those videos, the sound quality really bad, there's a lot of echo. It's because I was in that house and I was in a basement with like a lot of like wood and like hard walls. So you can kind of see where that kind of affected my video quality. And also the other thing was like, I don't know about you, I had like a really hard time focusing in the beginning.
Yeah.
It's like you're just sitting there like, really? Jesus Christ. So I was able to get stuff out, but it was just like, and the only real positive thing I could say about that was that it allowed me to work on like long-term projects or bucket list vids. There have been a lot of them this year, even before like, the Charlotte Hornets vid with Michael Jordan as an executive. And there were a couple others I worked on throughout, the stoppage. Marty Schottenheimer, Mike Keenan, Jean Van de Velde. Wheel of Discipline was one for a long time. There were a couple others too. I know there were a couple like on the like short-term project list that I worked on. And then once those were done, you're just sitting there like, okay, what the hell do I do? I need something to like, just get my mind off shit. Because you're sitting there, it's like, oh, wow, there's no sports, there's nothing to do, everything's closed. What is there to talk about? Yeah. So you kind of hit a wall after a while, especially in July. Like, that's when it kind of like got a little tough. And I do my podcast with 5 Points too. We do it every Tuesday night. It's called The Dumpster Fire. And we were having trouble too, like early on, like middle April, May, like, cause there's just nothing to talk about. The only thing there was, the NFL and the NFL draft. Like that was it.
Yeah. And
the Last Dance.
Last Dance. Like I didn't even watch the Last Dance, but for the most part, I was just like working on other stuff. Yeah. So that is probably the only thing you can really say. Like I'm worried about a second round of lockdowns mostly. Like I'm hoping they don't happen.
Yeah.
But considering like the state government I'm in, the state government you're in.
Yeah. Yeah.
And they were, ours was pretty rough. Like they shut down our wine and spirit stores.
Wow.
So,
the one thing that gets people through this, like,
the problem is with Pennsylvania, excluding like they've been getting better at it, but our liquor laws and beer laws are outright Victorian and like archaic. We could literally, like 10 years ago, we literally could not buy anything in a 6-pack or a 12-pack. You either had to get overpriced 6-packs at a bar, or you had to get it by the case at a beer distributor, or you had to get it from a state-sponsored wine and spirit stores. Like nowadays, you're at least able to buy beer at a gas station, or like wine at a gas station, or like at a supermarket. You're able to do that, but you can't buy liquor anywhere. Like I still feel weird when I see liquor available at a convenience store. Because Pennsylvania controls that shit like a vacuum. Like 10 years ago, I was in New York City for like a radio convention. And I'm sitting like I found beer at a Kmart. I'm like, whoa, you can buy beer at a Kmart? You can buy beer at supermarkets? Who the hell has this been? I don't have to buy it by the case. Jesus Christ. That's what we're dealing with in Pennsylvania.
Can you Uber liquor in Pennsylvania?
I don't know.
Uber Eats? That's how
loosey-goosey. I mean, nowadays, like, they're kind of loosening it up because, you know, the coronavirus legislations, you can get, like, drinks to go. But why would you get a drink to go? It's going to be watered down by the time you get back.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. That's mind-boggling. I just got this earlier at a gas station.
We have liquor stores every corner.
Yeah, like especially in our part of the neighborhood.
But I have a couple beer stores around me, but they're a driving distance. It's not like I can go down the street, get a beer shop. Like, I can go down the street, get a nice sandwich, but I cannot get beer.
We can drive 5 minutes that direction, and we can buy a $70 bottle of something for like $20 in TJ.
Yeah,
Mexico.
like I could throw a rock to Mexico right now. That's how close I am to it. Like, I literally can.
Yeah. Nice.
But let's.
Or I get some nice tequila there for $20.
Hey, you let me know. I will make that happen for you. 100%.
I'm not into tequila, but thank you, man. I appreciate it. Although I don't know if you're able to cross it through state lines. That's the only thing. I mean, I know, like, somebody wanted to send me beer from Canada, but I wasn't sure about, you know, like the border tariff with beer.
Yeah, especially those Canadians. Those Canadians are.
Oh yeah, Canadians can get a little. Yeah, they're the beer. I was in Hamilton for a convention.
Mm-hmm.
This was, you know, last year before everything went to shit. I'm thinking, oh man, look at all this beer. I'm gonna try it. It's gonna be awesome. It's all watered down garbage. And I'm sitting there like, really? I come up here, I'm excited, and this is the most disappointing thing of the trip. Come on, man.
Let me tell you.
I love my beer. Like, if I were to do a second channel, it would be based on beer. It would be completely different, and it would have a different theme. Like, it wouldn't even be, like, dark and cynical and snarky. It'd just be, like, like, optimistic and positive and sharing the values and joys of beer. And it would just be, like, me talking beer, drinking beer, reviewing beer. It'd be good shit.
Man, you'd love San Diego. Honestly,
imagine
San Diego
with all the breweries
capital.
down here.
I hear that about Denver too. Like, Pittsburgh has gotten it's gotten a lot better in craft beer over the past 10 years, and you have some decent ones here. You have Church Brewworks, Penn Brewery's been here for a while. Hitchhiker's pretty good. They're one of my favorites. A Drylog, not Drylog. They're called Four Seasons, I think. Grist House is really good, but they're most ones that don't really like travel per se. Everyone thinks like it's just Yuengling. I mean, don't get me wrong. Yuengling's a solid beer. I like Yuengling. It's one of those cheap staples you can find even like the highest end steakhouse or the lowliest dive bar. Yuengling will be there for you.
You know, we can debate about beer all we want, but there's nothing like eating Mexican food after getting shit-faced drunk.
I don't know if they know.
Mexican food? Yeah, that actually would be bad. Not bad. I mean, what's your choice? Like tacos, burritos, or like
wait, hold on. We have to choose?
I don't know.
I haven't been choosing for years.
So, I mean, here in San Diego, we probably have the best Mexican food in the whole United States.
Would not shock me, dude. Like, with how close you are, dude. I mean,
Actually,
the only thing that would probably rival you is maybe like El Paso, Texas.
No.
Or just anywhere in Texas.
No. I'm just gonna end that debate right now. I'm sorry, but no.
Like, I mean, our Mexican standards aren't that high up here. I mean, you have a few decent places, but probably nothing compared to you guys down there.
Do you know what a California burrito is?
Is that a vegetarian burrito?
Absolutely not.
Shit.
Oh no! All right, so imagine a tortilla.
Yeah, blow your mind right now.
This size, right? I'm not kidding. This size. You pack it full with your choice of carne asada, adobada, some kind of chicken, whatever you want. Any protein. You get your salsa, pico de gallo in there. If you like a little spice, you can add something in there. Sometimes it has sour cream. Of course, it has guacamole. And absolutely the best thing is that they stuff it with cheese and fries.
Yep.
Fries. Dude, that's a Pittsburgh thing, man. Pittsburgh is just like chuck fries on everything. You ever hear of a Pittsburgh salad? It's literally a salad with like egg, ranch dressing, chicken, or steak. They throw fries on it.
That sounds.
For Manny Brothers, that's one of our most popular things. It's a sandwich with fucking fries and sweet slaw on it. They made it so like they had a bunch of workers that couldn't eat a full meal in time, so they just jammed it in a sandwich.
What's the point of the lettuce on that salad?
Sweet slaw. Sweet slaw. That's your lettuce.
Oh my goodness!
That's great.
I mean, it's overrated to me, but I mean, it's a local staple.
That's great.
Jesus.
Yeah.
But All right. So obviously, you were saying that this year we were at spring training. It was supposed to be a great season of baseball. Obviously, yesterday, Game 6, the Devil Rays, as they used to be called, couldn't get it done. They could not disappoint the Dodgers, third year in a row. They let America down. They let everybody here in San Diego down. But, I mean, what did you think about this? Let's just start this season. It was a shortened season.
It was a very turbulent season.
Yes.
I will say that. Especially back in May and June, you had the bickering between the players' union and the owners about games played, everything. And I'm just sitting there like, are you even going to have a season? You were the one I had the most optimism of you playing.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the perfect thing for them would have been starting on July 4th and going through. And not just that, you had several big outbreaks. You had it with the Marlins. You had their ragtag crew. You had the Cardinals, and they had like 15 doubleheaders in 25 days. You had some minor outbreaks, and I was thinking like, Jesus. I mean, I thought I'd give it like, okay, I give them 25 days before shit hits the fan. It was hitting the fan in the first weekend.
Yeah.
I mean, I'm actually surprised they made it through the year, to be completely honest with you. It's like, okay, they hammered it down. They clamped it. That's good. And then you have the situation with Justin Tucker where, okay, wins a World Series. They don't even know it but while he's playing the game.
That
doesn't make sense to me
at all.
Yeah.
Because, like, if he's allowed back on the field for the celebrations, that had to be a false positive, right?
Well, there were reports coming out that said that security tried to stop him and they just couldn't.
Well, I mean, I get it. Trust me. Like, I'm not going to, like, throw Justin Turner under the bus and, like, hate him for that because when you're an athlete, I mean, this is his first World Series.
Yeah.
He's been there for a long time. This might be his last year there. And so he's going to celebrate. I mean, he wants to be there with his teammates. I mean, that's a unit, and I completely understand that. But there's a fine line between being a unit and potentially risking the health of people around you. And I don't think that it's going to affect them that much. But look at a guy like Dave Roberts. He's a cancer survivor, and he was sitting next to him in the team photo. I'm like,
kissing his wife, being around everybody else's family members.
Yeah.
I mean, it's obviously not a good look. And I mean, it's one of those things where they were doing so well, and I wanted to give Manfred credit, and he does deserve credit. As reluctant as I have to be because of his past decisions, and you could just, and I think that's what it was. At the end of the game, he looked.
They finally got it right. I feel like. I mean, you had to put him in bubbles. I mean, even then, a bubble's not fully secure. Like, but still, at least it's something. You couldn't just like, oh, you lived through. I forgot about the whole Toronto fiasco. They were scrambling to find a home stadium for the Blue Jays literally into the season. I'm sitting there like, really? Of course, Canada's not going to allow travel in there. They're trying to clamp down themselves.
Yeah, exactly.
So, I mean...
Why do you think the NHL went up there for?
Yeah.
Exactly. Back to the motherland.
So for me, baseball is like completely like alien world to me, and I barely started getting into it this year.
Yeah, same here. But that was more because, like, I feel like there was just a lot going on.
Yeah. But would you put an asterisk on this championship for the Dodgers?
No, I wouldn't. Because, I mean, at the end of the day, they're all playing under the same rules.
Thank you.
Everyone's saying it's like, oh, the Dodgers are rigged. It's like, no. They rigged it for the Lakers.
Oh, 100%.
Not the Dodgers. But, like, the Dodgers, it's like, dude, they had the most talent in baseball. They were oozing it. They've been building from within for years. They poured billions of dollars, not only into salaries, but into player development, structure, personnel, coaching, everything under the sun to make sure their players get the best of everything. They're the Tampa Bay Rays with money.
Yeah. Exactly.
And you can see that pretty much from the way they build things. And then they go out and get a superstar and Mookie Betts.
Which was just insurance at the end of the day.
I mean, you could literally probably do two teams, and they both would have made the playoffs, I feel like. Yeah, they had so much there. I mean, they barely played some of their top prospects. Gavin Lux didn't make the roster. And there were like a few other guys that came up and like threw or like didn't make the postseason roster and had decent seasons.
Man, you should have seen our Twitter feed last night. We're San Diego. Bunch of Padres haters on there.
Dude, they got smacked.
I
get you didn't have Lamet, and I get you didn't have Clevenger, but
yeah,
you got smacked.
Yeah, we did.
Sorry,
I mean, it's true. It's 100% true. Like we did.
Don't get me wrong. It was a great season, but you got smacked.
Yeah, got smacked, but it was fun until it got to the smacking. But
you united us all in bashing the Texas Rangers.
100%. We swept the Astros. Something people don't really think about. We brought
up with some Slam Diego,
obviously. That's why I was so disappointed to not get at least one out of that game and series against the Dodgers. It was just heartbreaking through and through. And the fact that you have no idea what baseball is, and you kept talking shit, and you still talk shit,
I love
just
it.
hurts me to the
That's
core.
That's what I do.
And I'm incredibly upset at that. But I kept saying, and to this day, it's a shame. It's a goddamn shame that everybody, America, wasn't able to attend and boo the Astros.
That's a shame. Like even like the Pirates, they were horrible this year. They're pretty much a quad A team. I would have gone to games still.
Yeah.
I mean, like, I wish the Blue Jays would have come to Pittsburgh. Dude, if the Blue Jays were in Pittsburgh and our like state government didn't have this like virtue signal power play, I would have definitely gone to Blue Jays games. I don't give a shit.
Yeah.
They were a fun team.
Yeah. And, they're young. I mean, that's the future of baseball right now is in such a place where it can go to complete shit. And it's possible.
I'm worried about like baseball being like, turning into boxing and horse racing just because of the way they're running it. Like you have a runner on second base and extras. That's a gimmick, man.
Yeah.
Like it goes against you talking about integrity of the game. And then you do that shit. Okay, if you can't do that shit, why can't we have a standardized strike zone with like a robotic umpire? Why can't we have that?
Would you get a universal DH and leave it?
Same here. I agree.
Yeah.
No, I agree with the universal DH.
Yeah.
You want to know why? Because watching pitchers hit most of the time is completely cringeworthy.
It is.
Because they don't practice. They don't train.
Yeah. But I will say that here, again, bringing it back to San Diego, if it wasn't for that, the fact that Bartolo Colon hit a home run here in Petco Park against James Shields is what got him traded over, and that's the trade deal that got Tatis here. So if it wasn't for Bartolo Colon and whatever miracle happened that day, we wouldn't have Tatis here in San Diego. So
I still can't believe you got him for fucking big game, James.
Right. I
mean, to be fair, Fernando Tatis did not have that like potential at the time. Like he had like upside, but nobody expected him to be even greater than his dad was, and his dad was pretty good for a hot minute.
Exactly. And again, voodoo sports shit when his dad actually, I don't know if you know this, the only player in MLB history to hit 2 grand slams in the same inning.
2 grand slams in an inning.
Of course I know this.
Of course you know this. But see,
same as Cardinals.
Yeah. And so that's how, it's just fun how Tatis, the son, is also involved in grand slam history.
How dare you question what I know? Come on, man.
Look at you.
Come on, man.
Look at you. You're going to get this. Does he not look like in The Simpsons, the mascot where Homer is doing the baseball gimmick, and then he goes over to the big city, and then there's that, what's his name? What's that?
Oh, the big baseball guy?
Yes.
I forget his name.
Oh,
Shit.
my God. Yes.
Talking shit right now, man?
You need like the uniform. It's the only thing.
I mean, he has a shape.
Dude, whatever.
No, but it's a fun season, and I thought that the Astros would have won. I'm a big supporter of that.
I'm gonna ask you a question because I was feeling the same way. How many people did you feel would have rage quit baseball if the Astros won the World Series? I was definitely considering it. Like I was like, dude, I am gonna rage quit baseball if the Astros win the World Series after this bullshit. Like, fuck this, I'm done.
And I think then that goes back
for that to happen.
To what I say is the fact that the Astros cheated, got away with it. MLB did nothing, and everything that transpired.
It was a slap on the wrist.
It was,
and I know exactly why they're doing it. It's because Manfred wants to bury this so far under the rug that nobody talks about it 50 years down the road. So if in case I have grandkids or like my sons have or my brothers have grandkids or my sisters have grandkids, they go up to me like, hey, Uncle Tree, why is there this asterisk on the 2017 World Series? And then I'd have to go into this whole spiel about, well, son, back then the Houston Astros did this sign stealing thing where they spied on the catcher's signals from the bullpen, and then they relayed it by trash can or buzzer to their hitters. And that's why there's an asterisk to that World Series. They don't want them doing anywhere near that because they saw with the steroid issue. They didn't give a shit about that until it stopped giving him money. People still talk about the Black Sox scandal.
Yeah,
they don't want
Joe
that,
Jackson.
even though it's the biggest scandal in baseball in 100 years.
Yeah, only those of us who watch Ken Burns' 24-hour documentary on baseball know the ins and outs of that Black Sox scandal. I highly recommend it, by the way.
It's funny because
I've seen there was a video on movie on it in the 80s. I do remember a good bit of it. Like Comiskey was a fucking cheap ass.
Yeah.
That's why they did it.
Exactly.
If he willingly paid his employees, they wouldn't have taken money to take a dive.
And here we are, 2020, still talking about it.
I remember a bunch of things happening too. Do you remember that White Sox Baltimore game with no fans? It's like, this is really fucking creepy. I hope we never have to hear this again.
Yeah.
2020.
Exactly.
Like the thought just came to my mind, like, oh, why is there your grandkids telling you? Why is there an Astros on 2020 season as well? Did the Dodgers cheat as well? No, that was fucking COVID.
That's redemption.
Is
what that was.
Game season.
It's redemption.
It's like, was there a lockout here too? No, that was just a pandemic.
But I mean, in any case, I think that the baseball season went ahead as it went. It's still not over. It is. You guys got the piece of metal, as Manfred likes to say. But it's one of those things where I think the NFL is doing right now.
Will the NFL get to see a piece of metal?
I think that
they're going to bull rush through it, dude. If the MLB bull rush through their issues, the NFL definitely will.
100%. And it's amazing the fact that, the disparity of number of roster spots on each sport.
And personnel too.
Yeah, exactly. And it's again, if there's any association that can do it, it's the NFL, just because of the pool of resources that they have.
Your power. Plus, they've changed the rules. So, if people go on the COVID list, they can just whip people up from the practice squad. You can put veterans on the practice squad now. They upped roster sizes. They have practice squad roster sizes. So, there's a lot going into it.
But I think the only team that I still have yet to see, I don't know if the real roster is on COVID, IR, or whatnot, but Atlanta, the Falcons, I've never seen just such great quality in losses.
Chokers.
It reminds me of the San Diego
team
Chargers.
has never recovered from 28-3.
Never.
It is just embarrassing. Because they've been doing the same shit for years and they haven't changed it. It's too late. The time to fire Dimitroff and Quinn was at latest last year. Mm-hmm. But they keep doing it, and it's in spectacular fashion. That onside kick against Dallas, the blown multi-point lead against Chicago where nobody can tackle. Last week against Detroit, where they couldn't even stop a single pass. It's atrocious. Horrible.
It's atrocious to have to. Have to watch that. I sometimes watching terrible Charger games here in San Diego. You just don't have a choice. Back when Red Zone wasn't really a thing, you didn't have a choice. You just had to sit there and watch it.
You had to watch the horrible special teams play.
I, for one, enjoy it. It's a good laugh. It's a good laugh.
That's how I feel about Pirates games most of the time now. It's comedy.
Yep.
What did turn around from being absolute comedy since Duck Hodges and Rudolph graced the field at Heinz Field, the Steelers, man. The Steelers have had a resurgence. Big Ben is proving people wrong.
And that surprised me. He's coming off a major elbow surgery. I expected him to look bad. He had a rough game last week, but that was more because he was forcing passes.
Well, he had that Mahomes throw, which was insane. That whole wobble thing that he just threw it crazy. Do you think you guys are going to beat the Ravens?
I don't know. It'll be tough. They can minimize the mistakes. I don't know if there's anyone that can really beat them. But, dude, we are like dude, and this is why I hate Steelers fans. Mm-hmm. We are the Lakers fans of the NFL. We are so fucking entitled. It's not even funny. there is
actually
going to
very
be a
true.
wave of cancer coming across the NFL
Yes.
world if the Steelers win the Super Bowl again. It's not even going to be funny, and I will fucking hate it too.
In my quest of finding a new NFL team, the Steelers popped up. Again, I can't choose anybody on the AFC West. I cheered against them my whole life. But the Steelers always, I've always liked what they stood for, the football that they played, just hard-nosed, good defense, great teams. But just, again, the fans are ruthless if you
they're
find a
brutal.
bad one. The only reason I didn't choose the Steelers and in my top whatever was because of that one Troy Polamalu interception to Phillip Rivers in the snow where he just scooped it up. It's the most amazing interception I've seen to this day. And Steelers fans won't let me forget about that. So I couldn't. But yeah, it's Steeler fans are something else. Just Pennsylvania fans.
So you went with the Birds.
Yeah, of course. Went with the Birds with a fantastic quarterback that
Fantastic.
potentially fantastic quarterback.
What's your take on Wentz, man?
Wentz, I think it's more his confidence is shot. I think he still has talent. I think he still has ability. It's just he doesn't really have anyone around him. Travis Fulgham came out of nowhere. Boston Scott's okay, but I said it's the scheme more than anything. I think Doug Peterson has really been exposed these last few years. I'm sitting there
100%.
like, this guy won a Super Bowl?
Yeah,
You're going for it on like a 2-point conversion. You run a run-pass option that costs you the game. And then you run like something like out of a college formation against the Giants. I'm just like, what the hell are you doing, man?
It was honestly a miracle that
Really?
we won that game against.
Well, you played the
Giants.
Giants. That's why
Yeah.
you won.
Hey,
Because Evan Engram has stone
True.
hands and Daniel Jones keeps fumbling the goddamn ball.
and he can't run for shit. Like that's the
Well,
most
I mean, that's
amazing
a stumble.
stumble.
I mean, he ran better than me, but dude,
I
that's
just
every comedy reel for the next year.
I disagree. I did see you at Jerry Rule World Practice Field, and some of
Yeah,
those
it's
drills were
pretty bad.
impressive. Fantastic.
Impressive, dude. I have no athletic skill in my fucking body.
I would beg to differ, and I think you would have a great position at the Philadelphia Eagles if you really wanted to right now. Because
I don't know, man. Maybe it's like the team fridge. You're like, hey, got a beer in there? Great. I'll take league minimum. Fuck it.
There you go.
So what's a surprise something that surprised you from the season as far as maybe play, teams, the Cowboys sucking so much?
That's actually hilarious.
Yeah, the Cowboys are hilarious.
Yeah, I mean, I'm separating them this week from sports ball. It's that juicy. So
Oh, I love it.
Ooh, I love hearing that.
bring out Dallas.
Yeah,
It's like, okay, this is the part to focus in on because, last couple of years, last year there wasn't really much. 2 years ago, you had Saxonville and Days of Our Steelers, which we will never talk about. Fuck, why did that happen every goddamn week? But I'm hoping for another team I'm able to get more joy out of it instead of rage.
how do you find that rage? I mean, it seems
Part of it's like real, part of it's just you have to build yourself up to it.
yeah.
So it's half and half per se.
Yeah, because it's like, again, I didn't know you were a Steelers fan up until Days of Our Steelers, when you really just started laying it into them. I was like, okay, this is real.
hit the heart.
What was that? Like real. This is real, just pain. But same thing I feel with it with when you have those the legacy of sadness, the lol cows. It's just what a actual Cleveland Browns fan would say. But you're not a Cleveland Browns fan or just in any other situation. Just that vitriol.
Like, to me, you have to marinate yourself in that situation. Like, okay, how do you feel? How do they describe it? How would they relate? And how do they understand their own situation? Or at least how I try to do it. Like, there are times I probably miss, and there are times when people get pissed off. It's like, whatever. I don't give a shit.
So
And then there are ones where it's just like it ages really well, or it ages poorly, and then it ages really well, or it just goes out of nowhere. I don't know.
Yeah, so I mean, so far this season. Sorry for my English is horrible.
that was English. All right.
We've seen some impressive rookies, and to me, the question is, who's your rookie of the year so far?
It's tough. Biggest surprise to me is easily Justin Herbert.
Yeah.
I did not expect that guy to do well this year, mostly because, Oregon quarterback, he had wild inaccuracy issues. I thought it was really raw coming out of college. and I thought he was going to need a couple years at best, and he's fucking slinging it like he's like an 8-year pro. I'm like, what the hell did this come from? But that'd probably be my choice for Rookie of the Year so far, I feel like. It's the only reason the Chargers are any good.
Yeah, 100%. Where would you put Joe Burrow? How close is he to Herbert?
Probably number 2. If he had a real offensive line, he'd be there. I'm worried he's turning into Andrew Luck.
Yeah, that's man. That's the saddest thing I've seen a sports franchise do to a quarterback in a while.
Like,
Just
they don't
let
have
him
an offensive
rot.
line for him. He's getting killed.
Yeah.
Chase Young's also doing really good.
Oh, number 2?
Yep.
Yeah, but he got injured.
Yeah. Like, they have a decent lineman in Jonah Williams, but that's really about it.
But right now,
Herbert's
let's see.
killing it, man.
Let's give 2 teams the patented, the trademarked urinating tree kiss of death. Who are you predicting for the Super Bowl? Though way too early to even think that we're gonna have a Super Bowl at 20% capacity, by the way, for fans.
I wonder if I can get invited as a quote-unquote influencer.
Interesting.
I know they're going to put in, like, pods or some shit. Like, okay.
There's ways to do that. We got to talk.
Apparently.
Okay.
Well, I mean, I don't know. I'm not, like, a super famous influencer, so I don't know if I can really get in there or not. So I don't know if I can hook you guys up. I'm sorry.
That's fine.
No,
hey, we can be housekeeping for you when you go, and we just making sure we carry Mr. Three's bags. Hey, Mr. Three, thank you. Who's this guy? Oh, he's just
Yeah. These are my my visa carrying members. They're interns. Yes, interns. But I've always considered, like, early on, I was going to give it the State Farm Bowl, which I thought was going to be rigged last year, but this year they look pretty good. Green Bay and Kansas City.
Yeah. I mean, I called Green Bay. I told everybody Green Bay is going to be great. Everybody's thought Jordan Love, it means something.
The main thing is I didn't expect Aaron Rodgers to return to form. Like, I'm sitting there in the draft. It's like, why would you draft a quarterback? You have big holes in your roster. And then apparently it was like a 4-dimensional chess move where it pisses off Aaron Rodgers to the point where he just goes God mode.
Exactly.
That's pretty much what I feel like what happened.
Yeah, I mean, Jordan Love is probably like given lines to feed to Rodgers in the practice, talking about Danica Patrick, Olivia Munn, just talking shit to him, just like really poking at Aaron Rodgers. But it's outstanding, and even then, Aaron
Rodgers, about the rumors of him being gay. Well, you're pissed. There you go.
Talk about his family, like, hey, your family loves you. Oh, fuck you. But
like, hey, your half brother sucked on The Bachelor.
Even then, Aaron Rodgers isn't really. I mean, he is up there in the conversation, but I would not pick him as MVP just quite yet because Russell Wilson is playing out of his mind.
Wilson's been really good.
Mm-hmm.
That's in your division with the Rams, who even then
the NFC West. I feel like you have an argument for 3 teams, maybe 4 out of that division.
Yeah, it's crazy.
Even impressive what the Niners are doing. Yeah.
Yeah, and
with how injured they are, absolutely.
Yeah. No, it's probably the toughest division in the NFL right now. You still don't think so?
I guess. I guess.
Oh,
sure.
Man.
I mean, I don't know what necessarily toughest would say. I think the toughest right now because it's just so even. There's just no way of telling. Is the NFC East. I mean,
oh shit!
Yeah, it's a shit show.
Oh, that's just, that's a good point. That's a good point.
Oh man, but
So
no,
you got the State Farm Bowl and the Super Bowl. I like it.
That. I like that. I mean, State Farm's gonna really love that. State Farm's gonna really love that.
They'll make so many commercials about that.
Yeah,
they'll have to sponsor the damn bowl itself.
So have you looked into, I know you dabbled into it because, again, we like to do our research here at Two Balls on a Mic, other than the fact that I fucking watch your videos every week. So, I mean, that's not really research. But you did a 2018 shitting on the World Cup. And as you can tell by probably...
Pissing on the World Cup.
Pissing on the World Cup. There you go. Sorry. Mm-hmm. It's a different bodily fluid. I'm sorry.
Yeah.
But it was fantastic. I mean, you opened by saying, hey, I might not be the biggest fan, but then you just absolutely murdered it. Yeah. Is there any thought on ever going back and dipping your toes into any other sports, soccer? And do you watch soccer? Because that was some very expert analysis and breakdown.
A little bit. I paid attention to a lot of the World Cup and a lot of the storylines. My thinking was, you know what, this comes once every 4 years, might as well give it a shot. Like, I don't know if I'll do it in 2022. If I do it, I might outsource it, like the writing at least. So I'm kind of not talking out of my ass sometimes. But like I said, that was an interesting vid to do. It was also interesting because FIFA just blocked the video like worldwide. And I had to like loop it so many different times so it could actually pass through their like scanners.
Interesting.
I think I had to like reverse the feed and then like zoom in, and that was the way for me to do it. But I forget like what else did it. But
that's crazy.
I remember sitting there like FIFA, like most of the time, like if I do it, like they just claim monetization. FIFA's just like, nope, fuck you, blocked.
Yeah, no, soccer people don't play that shit, and that's I think that has to do a lot with the fact that on YouTube there's a couple of sports places that you can go and get stuff, but I think that the thing that makes your videos great is the fact that you actually use footage, like actual in-game footage, not stock footage from 2 weeks ago, but that week's footage, and I think that's that's something that just differentiates you and your videos right now, and has been, because you can enjoy rewatching a replay, but how people at home probably interpreted it and just start shitting and talking shit at the TV and being mad and upset, or pointing out all the funny things that do happen throughout a day. By any chance, are you a Red Zone guy? I know kind of went over.
I do follow a lot of NFL Red Zone. Yeah,
Hansen or Siciliano?
Hansen.
Absolutely. That yep. There's no way
that's my feed on Comcast. So.
Oh, perfect. Perfect. But definitely we're gonna go ahead and start winding this down. If you want to go ahead and let everybody know where they can find you. Again, thank you very much for your time.
Absolutely,
really appreciate this.
Absolutely. Well, you can find me on YouTube at Urinating Tree. I'm hoping to get a sports ball vid out. I was hoping tonight, but it might not be till tomorrow, and I'm kind of pissed about it. But I do a lot of stuff there. I'll probably have some more stuff out tomorrow as well and throughout the week. I also have a Twitter, Urinating Tree. I just shit post on there. It's nothing special. And I have an Instagram that's urinating_tree. So I barely go on there, but it's just, it's there. Might as well talk about it.
Yep. Absolutely, man. Really appreciate it once again. And check out Urinating Treats. Honestly, one of our favorite YouTube content creators. Stick around real quick. We'll just follow up after the recording. And again, thank you for that.